After years of investigation, arrests, and escapes, Ted Bundy was finally forced to face the American legal system. What followed would become one of the most sensational and closely watched trials in the nation's criminal history, a spectacle that captured and held the public's attention for years. This wasn't just about one man. It was about the culmination of a decade-long reign of terror and the pursuit of justice for countless victims. Following his final recapture in Florida, Bundy was transferred between jurisdictions as prosecutors from different states worked tirelessly to build their cases against him. Evidence that had been painstakingly gathered over several years was finally being compiled for presentation in a court of law. This included a mountain of physical evidence, crucial witness testimony, and most powerfully, the accounts of the survivors who had managed to escape his grasp. The media frenzy was immediate and intense. Newspapers and television broadcasts across the country covered every development, turning the legal proceedings into a national event. The public was both horrified and fascinated, eager to understand how such a seemingly ordinary man could be accused of such extraordinary evil. This stage was set for a trial that would leave an indelible mark on legal history. In a move that stunned both the public and legal experts, Ted Bundy chose to represent himself in court. This decision meant he would personally cross-examine witnesses, make legal arguments, and address the jury directly. While he had some law school education, he was far from a qualified attorney. This decision gave him a platform, allowing him to attempt to control the narrative and project an image of a man wrongly accused. However, it also gave the jury and the world watching on television a direct, unfiltered view of his personality. Many legal analysts later observed that this choice backfired, as his courtroom antics and manipulative behavior were on full display, revealing the disturbing character that lay beneath his charming facade. His attempts to outsmart the prosecution often appeared arrogant and callous, further alienating him from those who would decide his fate. The prosecution methodically laid out its case, presenting a web of evidence that was difficult to dispute. Eyewitness identifications placed Bundy at or near several crime scenes, corroborating other pieces of the puzzle. But perhaps the most damning evidence came from the field of forensics. A bite mark left on one of the victims was matched to Bundy's dental impressions, a groundbreaking piece of evidence at the time that physically linked him to the crime in a way that was nearly irrefutable. Beyond the physical evidence, the emotional weight of the trial rested on the shoulders of the survivors who took the stand. Their harrowing testimony provided direct, personal accounts of their encounters with Bundy. Their courage in facing him in court and recounting their traumatic experiences delivered a powerful and undeniable impact on the proceedings, humanizing the case in a way that no piece of physical evidence could. Ultimately, the evidence was overwhelming. The juries in his various trials returned with guilty verdicts on multiple counts of first-degree murder. For these crimes, Ted Bundy received several death sentences in the state of Florida. The legal battle, however, was far from over. Bundy and his legal team launched a series of appeals that would stretch on for years, challenging various aspects of the trials and the sentences. Each appeal was meticulously reviewed by higher courts, a process that delayed the final outcome and kept the case in the public eye. Despite these prolonged efforts, the convictions were consistently upheld, and the death sentences remained in place, slowly but surely closing every legal door available to him. In the final days leading up to his execution, with all legal avenues exhausted, Bundy began to offer a series of confessions. Speaking with investigators and psychological profilers, he started to admit to crimes he had long denied. These final confessions provided answers to some long-standing mysteries, helping law enforcement close several unsolved cases and bring a measure of closure to grieving families. However, His accounts were often fragmented and self-serving, leaving many details ambiguous. He never gave a full, clear accounting of all his crimes, and the true number of his victims remains unknown to this day, a haunting question mark that lingers over his dark legacy. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair at Florida State Prison. His death marked the definitive end of one of the most notorious and terrifying chapters in American crime history. Outside the prison walls, crowds gathered, some in quiet reflection, others in celebration, a testament to the profound and polarizing impact his case had on the national psyche. The execution brought an end to the man, but the story and the questions he left behind were far from over. The Bundy case left a lasting legacy that reshaped modern criminal justice. It highlighted critical failures in communication between law enforcement agencies across different states, leading to significant reforms in how information is shared and how serial crime patterns are identified. The term serial killer entered the common vocabulary, and the public's awareness of the nature of such crimes grew immensely. For criminology and psychology, Bundy became a pivotal case study, offering chilling insights into the mind of a psychopath and the stark contrast between outward appearance and inner reality. It challenged societal assumptions about what a monster looks like and forced a reevaluation of public trust and personal safety. The story of Ted Bundy is more than just a chronicle of his horrific crimes. It's a complex narrative about the systems that were slow to catch him, the invaluable lessons learned in the aftermath, and the enduring importance of vigilance, communication, and justice. His case serves as a somber reminder of the darkness that can exist behind a normal facade, and the collective effort required to confront it. This concludes our documentary series on the Ted Bundy case. Thank you for watching.